SOG knives. Let's talk about them for a few minutes. I've got several of them. I think there's 8 or 9 that my friend John sent in. And they're all interesting, right? Some came in packages, like normal looking packages. And here is the actual model and part of this particular one. I did think it was interesting that they actually clip the knife to the package, which I think is cool. Like that's oftentimes you get a knife in the box roughly like this, and the whole time it bounces around in shipping and when you get it and all that. This one at least was clipped on, which I thought is cool. That more people should do that. Okay. And then there's a few other ones that are in like those blister packs that hang on the wall at like the Walmart and the whatever, right? So we'll get to those ones as well. But today, excuse me, we're going to talk about this Prohan XR. And the XR is for the lock. It is a access style lock, a crossbar lock, whatever you want to call it. It is a flipper tab. Super crazy smooth action if you get the timing right, which I did not that time. You can thumb it open and you can Spidey flick, reverse flick it-ish. For me, 1, that's kind of a silly way to open a knife. You guys have heard me say that before. And 2, this one you kind of have to get your finger in the right position. It's a little awkward for me. Okay, got a little bit of stuff there on the G10. So this is $69, give or take, on their website. It's not a bad knife, but it's not a great knife. It's okay. Is it worth $70? I'll let you guys decide that. I don't know. It is a Michael Williamson design, and it's very similar to another knife that I own that I'll bring out in a second here, but G10 scales, an extra deep pocket clip. Like, it's deeper than the knife, which to me is silly. That shouldn't be a thing, because it makes it a little awkward to remove from your pocket. For me anyway, and you guys tell me your thoughts down below. It just, as you grab it, it's just a little bit different because you're grabbing below your pocket line. It's awkward to me. It works. It's okay. Steel liners. Flipper tab, of course, we talked about. A little bit of branding there on the front and on the back. And this is China-made Cryo D2. I don't know what Cryo D2 is. I didn't spend a lot of time looking. I don't know if they've cryogenically treated these after the heat treat. I don't know, which is a thing. In my off-roading days and my racing days, we cryo treated a lot of parts on my Jeep for strength, as well as on the race car. It was a thing. Cryo treat the axle shafts, cryo treat the gears. It does make the metal stronger when you super freeze. And I don't remember the temperatures and all that because I wasn't going to really talk about that at this level. But here we are. It's minus some number of degrees, 300 degrees, maybe. I don't remember. But by doing that, it's aligning the molecules of the steel or of the material and making it stronger. Okay, sure, fine. Did I notice anything on my personal off-road Jeep? No. Did it give me a little peace of mind? Sure. Did it cost a bunch of money? Absolutely. It's what the off-road shit does. Hence why my group of friends, we're not racing anymore. We're just recreational wheeling, and it's much more fun. But that's a whole different topic. If you want to talk about the off-roading thing, let me know. I could do a video on that. Yeah, sure, whatever. All right, so back to this knife. Here is the one I own. This is a prototype. This is the Red E. It is a world legal It says it right on the blade. So that means I could take this anywhere, right? Right? Even though knives are basically illegal to carry in New Zealand and Australia. This is a slip joint. It has 3 positions, 3 stops, 1, 2, and then closed. So 2 stops. It's a cool little knife, but it's very similar in shape. As I really looked at them, you know, the finger grooves in the handle, like it's very similar, which is okay. But it's a cool little knife. I won in a giveaway years ago, and it's just always hung out still. All right, so what do you get here other than a Cryo D2 blade? You got a 5-inch closed, 8 1/4 overall with a 3.35-inch blade. Now it is coated. They don't say how it's coated, but it's not super slick and smooth, but it's not rough either. But there's a little bit of, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Okay. 0.018 behind the edge, weighs in at 5.9 ounces, and it runs on bearings. It is really crazy smooth. When you pull that lock back, it's just going to wiggle in the breeze. Okay. Sure, if that's your thing, whatever. It is relatively sharp. It's always fun, right? I think it's fun. The sound is really cool. It's fun to do. So SOG, the Cryo D2 is kind of a buzzword, right? It's marketing. And as I was looking at their website about this knife, it threw out some marketing things, right? The Cryo D2 and the one-of-a-kind G10 handle and like all these marketing buzzwords. And I just kind of started thinking, why? Why do we need to throw all these kind of fancy and it's all about hype and marketing. I'm not a marketing guy. Hence why I don't have that many subscribers on my channel and it doesn't grow very fast. Because I just put the title, hey, it's a SOG blah, blah, blah knife review. Thumbnail, I don't get really hype and crazy marketing. Like, I want to just keep it simple. Hey, here's what I'm going to talk about, and you can click on it if you want. I don't get sensationalized or do a lot of that stuff. One thing to note about this knife is there is a little bit of detent lash, as I like to call it. So you can see, if I can, as I put a little pressure, the blade moves a little bit up against the detent. So like the detent hole is maybe a little bit too big for the detent ball. You know, I don't know. Is that inherently a problem? No, it's just a quality thing to note. Okay. All right, let's give you some size comparisons here. I could ramble about the marketing thing more, and I might do a video on that because as I watch a lot of YouTube these days, it's interesting. I've seen people do videos on some of the presidential candidate stuff, right? And this is not a political discussion. It's just a, hey, they put things in the description or in the title and in the thumbnail that I'm like, oh, let me watch and see whatever this is. And I watch. And they say, oh, did you see how that person stumbled all over their words and this and that and whatever, and they slurred their words. And I'm like, no, actually, I watched that clip like 3 times in your video, and there was no slurring of words. What are you talking about? I think people just want to sensationalize things just to get the views. And I just don't do that. I'm more average, more just down to earth, and I just tell it like it is. Okay, this is the Kubi KB237. I pull this one out because it's very similar in construction. D2, G10, flipper, liner lock versus the XR lock. $40, $70. Yeah, you know, again, You can decide if it's worth the $70 or not. And where are these made? I meant to talk about that earlier. So if you made it this far, comment Japan down below. These ones are made in China. SOG has kind of a varied past. They've made stuff in Japan, Taiwan, China, and the United States, and multiple different companies. I did some Googling, and it's like there's a list of companies that have made knives for SOG. So, I don't know what that means. It's just a little nugget that I thought I would share. So stay tuned. Like I said, I've got 7 or 8 more knives from SOG to talk about and kind of filter through the rest of the stuff, right? So I probably won't do SOG every day. I'll mix it in with some other stuff. So thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. And if I don't have a SOG playlist, by the time you're seeing this, I will have made one and put it here in the corner.